damage that Zino Lilies will be able to bring up onto the game. However, it's not necessarily a pick that really answers to their lineup. No, they don't really have someone that can really initiate in a single pick-off situation. You don't really have someone that can really lock someone down for an extended period of time. So you really gotta have to rely quite a lot on Numen on Blast as well as the Charisla's penalty zone, which essentially would just focus into a full-out team fight. In the meantime, Synchro being really annoying with that lantern. You can pretty much see just putting so much annoyance onto Sa already.
Every time, Loi, every time she misses that ability and it goes on cooldown, you just lose the trade. There's no way you can continue trading, and Synchro just taking advantage of that, right, with Lolita around. And I wonder what kind of build Gaily will go for, because there have been examples. I believe Ogwin did it with Lolita, where you go for just straight up Flash of the Oasis into Oracle build for the shield generation. Early rotation just to break the Faraga armor down bot.
Yep, pretty darn annoying. That is going to be the Faraga armor just popped, and that will allow victorysonggamers Minun to rotate herself right out of the lane if she absolutely wants to. Just kind of like dealing with something from all around the map, and of course observing the opponent's jungle. Exactly where is going to be this Bane, just so that they can take control of the bottom jungle as well as the turtle split a lot earlier in order to get themselves a great priority for going forward when it comes down to the turtle being spawned.
Never feels good when you're an X-Borg that's laning into a Terizla, a literal winning matchup. You can see the Cow even went for the Impure Rage, which again deals max HP damage right now. And you get pressure, you lose the Faraga armor, you are forced to take a recall, lose a minion wave. So VSG identifying where the cruxes are and immediately providing a solution to it. You get the Terizla out of the lane, let it hit level 4. Topside getting pressure, and that's a flicker out from Rian.
Pretty early. Rian absolutely needs to stay alive in order to continue up with the amount of economy that she's going to bring onto the team. As long as she's safe and sound, that is all great. In fact, burning that flicker is actually amazing, considering the fact that Zino Lilies actually put quite a lot of resources up into this gank onto this carry. 4-member rotation, while victorysonggamers took that opportunity to bring down the turtle down the bottom.
The Bane also, you can see one of the best tower pushes every time the Deadly Cache is online. Deadly Cache, and chip away at the tower's health. Offside, the carry is in danger, but Rian should be fine as QA continues to counter jungle. You get the backup coming through, and that's first blood already with the diversion.
That's the diversion that we want to see from the side of Sa, bringing down Rian. You can really tell that Zino Lilies are really kind of afraid of Rian. They're putting so much emphasis onto this carry.
And I mean, this just makes life incredibly hard for VSG's top side. I mean, they have to bring the juice in here, but chip should go down. Yep, they flicker to the wrong direction. VSG gets something in return, I guess.
Yep, I mean, burning up the flicker on that part, I think, well, small little issues. But now Kyoei comes into the fray, doesn't really have the enhanced scythe, but in fact goes for an enhanced chain instead. Gale has also unfortunately used the Numen Blast already. Taro burns out onto the Blazing Duet in order to really clear out the waves as soon as possible, and ensuring that not much of the turret plating goes over to the hand of this carry.
They're gonna continue camping in this bush, and then Kyoei just farming up a storm, a full level ahead of Ramichi, despite the amount of pressure that Zino Lilies put on the top side. But you can see that it has amounted to something, right? A 1k gold advantage. And, wow, chip portal.
Oh. Yep, just all the way up to the top side. Once again, really, it's all just a party over here. As we are just going to be going straight in for a 5v5 match. Victorysonggamers is exerting a lot of dominance on the side of Zino Lilies, bringing Xiaomi first person down. Oh. Gale flickers on backwards to ensure that she will be able to be safe and sound. No one from the side of Zino Lilies managed to get a single kill, unfortunately.
All 4 flickers blown by the side of Zino Lilies. The moment the shortcut got used, you can see that Minun did not hesitate, instantly goes through the portal, and even lands a penalty zone to allow VSG to find a kill onto Xiaomi. At the end of the day, VSG, the fact that they came out on top of that and lost no one in the process, allows them to reset, perhaps set up for the second turtle.
Definitely a great good advantage from the side of PSG. getting themselves that 1 kill, and the fact that Kyoei was able to go for a counter jungling, just kind of working around with the vertical jungling onto the slowness of Bane. And of course, when it comes down to allocating resources up to the top lane for extended periods of time, it definitely did manage to bite onto Zino Lilies. But for now, we don't have Minan just going to be jumping onto the back lines when it comes down to the penalty zone, and of course, being able to lock right down the side as well as Ramichi. The rest of the members from the side of Zino Lilies understand that they gotta have to fight back as much as possible. As such, bringing Minan down while she was completely out of position, as well as Gale. With that, 2 frontliners unavailable, victorysonggamers still intended to fight it all the way through, pushing away the Xbox plot as well as the Ramichi.
The idea was good from VSG again, getting the win. Minan, the penalty zone hits the back line. Good counter engage from Kao with the last sanity, finding 2 kills. But VSG, they are very clear on what they want to achieve with that objective, getting the second turtle of the game, extending the goal lead, now 2.3k. The fact that Minan went for the War Axe means, you know, you get some extra damage and extra spell vamp in the process, and Rian even getting a kill for herself. And even chipping away at the mid lane tier 1 turret, bottom one will go down, and VSG is slowly ballooning that lead.
And even getting themselves, helping the carry to finally take down a turret after a lane swap. So victorysonggamers, they do have a very strong sense of macro. They understand how they will want to funnel their gold over to carry, understanding that carry will be one of the main damage dealers coming into the mid stages of the game once Kyoei loses that power spike. But the diversion coming in, just going to be porting themselves all the way down to the bottom, but I'm not too sure whether victorysonggamers even understand what has just happened as such. Gale just going to be opening up the map, but good read from Gale. It does seem like the victorysonggamers, they actually know what was going on. Unfortunately, when it comes down to minimum blast, it was not going to be able to touch on anyone at all. Zino Lilies goes all the way through. When it comes down to last insanity, just bursting down on the members of victorysonggamers. But for now, Synchro's not stopping just yet, as Kyoei finds a double kill right on top of Zino Lilies, while Rian took that opportunity all the way to the top lane to bring down the turret. Kyoei took that, not the kill, down to her name. Total of 3. victorysonggamers with a total of 2 or 3,000 gold lead.
What a triple kill from Kyoei. The coordination between Synchro and Kyoei really saved that fight. Gaily had a good angle for the Numinum Blast, decides to flicker forward, missing completely and allowing Zino Lilies to go for the counter engage with the last sanity and deadliest catch. But again, this Julian, even with the war cry as the talent of choice, and of course the lantern flare from this Jushin, just so annoying to work with. Zino Lilies could not fight comfortably. The turtle could be a choice. Kyoei,
oh, just gonna be going all the way straight through. We do have most of the members from the side of Zino Lilies. Doesn't seem like they are able to really take control of this fight at all. victorysonggamers, with their power of just locking one person down and just bursting them down, this is the pickoff that we want to see from victorysonggamers, and that amount of damage is not gonna go down any further. This is just going to further accentuate them.
to be starting to become a problem for Zino Lilies. They are 6,000 gold behind, but also they're running a draft with Luo Yi and Chip. Oh, they found Minan.
Doesn't seem like Minan will be able to get herself away from all of that, but with that Bloodlust, or rather War Axe, did manage to help her stay alive for a good amount of time. But once again, Zino Lilies has been overcompensating their resources, putting 4% onto Minan. I'll say that that is pure trade from victorysonggamers. They absolutely love all of these standing objective trades.
Absolutely. I mean, Lord is going to be up in just around a minute, right? VSG, they have full control of the map as well. But like I was saying, right? You're playing Chip, you're playing Loyi. The best thing you could have for yourself is actually map control. But you lose tier 2 mid and bot. It means that you're conceding so much map control, and it makes the job of the Chip and Loyi hard. We haven't seen them reutilize their ultimates in a big fashion. I mean, they've gotten some pickoffs, like just now into Minan, but overall, VSG still are in the driver's seat.
Slowly but surely, victorysonggamers will want to find themselves a small little pathway to wiggle themselves right in between our Zino Lilies lineup and to really bring them down as much as possible. Zino Lilies now can't really hold their ground very effectively against victorysonggamers, as they understood that they are a whole 6,000 1,000 gold behind of victorysonggamers. You gotta have to give them as much respect as possible. In the meantime, down in the bottom lane, we do have the deadly cash that's just gonna be popped almost immediately. victorysonggamers understood that, hey, now's the time for Lord, now's not time for fights.
They could just send Rian to deal with it, right? It is a carry, so no true damage. Enough said. Easily takes care of the objective. First Lord for VSG. You even see that Sa went for the kind of backline to try and find an angle, but there's just no way for Zino Lilies to really get much done. So VSG 6k goal advantage in a very, very comfortable lead. I want to see how much damage they can do with this first Lord. Considering that all tier 2s are already down, this Lord should spawn on that mid side. And that's going to allow VSG to really set up the side waves. You can see they're already doing just that.
Just really choking out Zino Lilies to ensure that they don't really have a lot of gold to work around with. The longer that they kind of hold down all of these waves, the more that Zino Lilies loses when it comes down to their economy. But Gale opening up the map as much as they could, just ensuring that no one is going to be right around the jungle and no sneaky diversion plays from the side of Zino Lilies. Not like, diversion play is going to be the right answer here, since the Lord is going to be marching down in the bottom lane and just landing the hits on the Trident hits time and time again. But Minan did manage to land a 3-man penalty zone onto 3, while Xbox goes in for the last insanity. It doesn't seem like they will be able to pick a lot of HP off of victorysonggamers, but at least when it comes down to target prioritization, they did bring Minan down. That's a roamer for an EXP lane, but unfortunately, they lost a total of 2 inhibs.
I see a diversion attempt, but unfortunately the read was wrong. VSG, they want this top inhibitor. I don't think they will get it, thanks to the deadly cash. So VSG will go for the retreat. Still getting 2 inhibitors off of that. The penalty zone hitting on the 3 people in that back line, but Zino Lilies, they have some decent counter engage, right? Deadliest cash, last insanity. You want to run it in my face, you have to eat up the damage. The only saving grace for VSG was the fact that they just focus fire down the Thraga armor and not let Kao stack up her heat level, because that would just been destruction if that last insanity went off with max heat on multiple VSG members. Either way, they are at an 8k goal advantage. 2,000 from the extra from the last we checked in on them. Then with the next Lord up in just 45 seconds, as Zino Lilies, they gotta find a way. They gotta somehow use that diversion or the chip portal to find a pickup.
It's all about the unique playstyle of what heroes that Zino Lilies has picked out, right? The diversion as well as the shortcut. They really gotta have to find ways to really make full use of it. But unfortunately, when you do have your back against the wall, you don't really have the opportunity to have that global presence that you so desperately want when it comes down to picking a composition like this, right? So Zino Lilies, even if they were to jump over to the back, jump over to the back and just be surprised, they don't have this one most important thing in their lineup for this kind of catch play or surprise plays, and that is a solid crowd control. They don't have anyone that can really boot someone onto the ground or to really hold anyone down. It really just boils down to just Hiromi just going in. And speaking of her, just going to be jumping right into a man of 5. And even when it comes down to Claude, just working with the Blazing Duet.
Oh my god, the Eloy!
But Sa, that is what we want to see from Eloy. Just popping up the immortality on the Minan, and she's still holding herself back. Everyone else for victorysonggamers, why are you holding it together? As such, this has absolutely enabled Sa just playing around with all of this yin and yang, getting themselves a massive 4-man kill on top of victorysonggamers.
Yeah, VSG, they know they messed up right there. That was not supposed to be how it goes. The idea was good, right? They were eating a full Blazing Duet from Taro, who joined the fight after taking bot tier 2. Gaily pulls up the Numenon Blast, forces the Claw to get away, but we talked about the amount of counter engage in this STC replay. Look at that, Blazing Duet expires. VSG decides to go for a chase, completely forgets that there is an Xbox still there. The Loyi just throwing out balls of light and darkness. And this one, I believe the Fire Stakes pulled the members of VSG back into the fray, allowing Zino Lilies to not only clean up shop, but also secure the second Lord of that.
Ooh,
the immortality
on
him, so he should be fine. Well, Kao should be fine, yeah. Now she's out.
Yeah, very durable. I gotta have to say when it comes down to that Firaga armor. You can pretty much just take up quite a bit of all these damage as she peels for her team. With the Lord is gonna be marching down in the bottom lane. Middle lane, there is still a tier 2 that's standing up tall. Zino Lilies still have got something that they can play around with. Remember how we talked about the unique gameplay, or rather the unique interaction that Zino Lilies have got for themselves, picking up the chip as well as the Loi. This is where they will be able to put that all on display. With victorysonggamers currently now get back against the wall and having to deal with a charging Lord. That Trident is going to take up that half HP off the turret, and I wouldn't be surprised if Zino Lilies will be able to take this turret down and focus onto the middle lane wave almost immediately. victorysonggamers now, oh, look at the damage over to the back lines. Rian just went all the way back into the divergent, or rather the zone. It doesn't seem like she will be able to deal a lot of damage during all of that area denial.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. I mean, this Loi, we said that for Zino Lilies, running this trap, you want to have as much map control as possible. They've been able to pull it back. Even state, essentially both teams losing that bot and mid inhibitor. They'll find the export again, but once more, Firaga armor broken, still keeps the immortality. VSG might only have one more fight left in them. We see the Bane damage really starting to show up. Here goes.
Oh, just gonna be picking off onto Ramichi as much as possible, but unfortunately it took a little bit longer for them to bring that person one down. But at least Ramichi as well as Minion is just gonna go straight down. Zino Lilies finds himself onto Rian. Kyoei immediately with the enhanced sword gets herself away, but now Gil as well as Synchro just gonna be suctioned up into a vacuum, but not quite enough to really just kill Gil just yet.
Wow. 1-for-1 trade of all things, right? Both, I mean, for the side of Zino Lilies, they did lose their jungler, but she will be back in time for the third Lord. And once again, Sa completely untouched the entire fight, just constantly throwing out her abilities, just bursting the members of VSG down, especially when you run a carry. The range quite short, relatively short compared to other heroes, so you're always going to be caught in the crossfire. Especially when you take the splash damage and you have the yin-yang reaction on top of you, it is a death sentence. Export is camping in the bush as well. He knows that VSG are coming.
I would say that victorysonggamers, they really gonna have to respect the rotation from the side of Sa. Whenever the rotation is popped down, they are pretty happy just standing on top of the rotation, but the rotation still deals quite a lot of damage, and probably one of the main ways that Zino Lilies will be able to root any of the members from the side of victorysonggamers, which is one of Zino Lilies' main weaknesses. They can't lock down victorysonggamers, while victorysonggamers can do quite a lot in order to do all of these lockdowns as well as these pickups. You're gonna have to be real careful about that. But speaking of which, Hiromi comes in from the back. Rian takes the Lord. victorysonggamers, they know that they have got themselves the neutral objective, and they gotta have to get themselves backwards as much as possible in order to posture up for the next upcoming big fight.
I have to sacrifice Minun. Unfortunately, they were basically locked away from. She was basically locked away from the rest of the team, and no one from VSG can afford to kind of take that fight, right? They knew it was over. We got the Lord. We just minimized our losses. Not let Zino Lilies kind of take control of this. But man, look at the damage from the Sa. Insane stuff. Almost one-shotting Kyoei in that process.
But I'm surprised that even with that combo onto Synchro, it didn't really do quite much onto these Tsusin. Well, that is essentially the power of the wings. Blood wings generally give you a massive amount of shield, and let's not forget about the fact that you have a Lolita on your side too. So the mage as well as the marksman essentially being very fragile units become such soldiers coming into the battlefields. As such, this is probably one of the main reasons why victorysonggamers are very strong in their team fights, and perhaps sometimes even pretty daring in just threading right into the faces of Zino Lilies.
I think what's important is the Lolita's Numenon Blast. That is going to be very crucial, right? A few patches ago, there was an update that you can let go of Numenon Blast early and still get a stun. It's not the full duration stun, but you get a mini stun, right? And that could be the key, especially if you can time it on that Blazing Duet. But also the Guardian's Bulwark. How many abilities can you block? Can you block the Deadliest Catch? Can you block those incoming orbs of light and darkness from Sa? We've already gone past 3 lords, and remember, these 2 teams gave us the longest game in MWI, which literally happened a couple of hours ago, which ended in like, what, 30 minutes plus? 10 minutes away from reliving that record again, as Sa just got the Holy Crystal.
This is quite literally the most deep grinding game, and really just you gotta have to hold on to your seat, as every single one of these team fights may very potentially lead to the end of the game depending on how these ladies fare. They are all just gonna be posturing up for the next upcoming Lord, and both teams definitely want to have the most ideal Lord fight and the most ideal Lord's push. We're pretty much looking at a mirror base with both the middle lane and the bottom lane inhibitor turrets that's already been destroyed. You can't get any much more of a stalemate than this.
And right now it comes down to who gets the better counter engage, because both teams have that ability. We've seen VSG trying to start fights, and Zino Lilies, they just started throwing out, orbs from Za. You have this export that can just last the sanity to the back line and threaten to separate Rian and Synchro from the rest of the teams. Lord number 4, VSG, they will be the first on the scene, but in the 21-minute mark, right? The Lord is not easy to take down, and this is going to really start to show us, really start to put these players to the test in going for Lord dances in the late game.
With the front to back from victorysonggamers, they really want to shred down the front lines as soon as possible in order to really eventually reach over the back line. But that is not exactly how Zino Lilies want to play. But for now, we do have the shortcut that's going to be popped right all the way in the top lane. But Minan just going to be landing the Lumina Blast. Wait, it didn't really quite seem to manage to do anything to the members of Zino Lilies, as it just hit right by the edge. It wasn't really being able to clip onto anyone. In the meantime, Taro with the Winter Crown, unfortunately, still goes down to the hands of Synchro. That is a shutdown that we want to see, with 2 members down for the side of Zino Lilies. But Amici is not gonna let this team fight goes on for any much longer. It's gonna be a 1-for-1, 1 versus 1 between the carry as well as the Bane. But it does seem like the Bane is definitely gonna have a lot more problems dealing with that, as the immortality is gonna be popped. A fight that's happening onto both ends of the earth, as Gale finally got herself back on Numenon Blast, lands it right back on the cow. The best thing you can do is to ensure that cow don't go back home or kill cow, just so that victorysonggamers will be able to end this game with a single ballista.
Talk about the perfect team fight and how you can let go of the Numenon Blast.